Hello again. This time I'm going to talk about etiquette, that is, social behavior in Italy in various different situations. Timekeeping. Arriving on time for appointments in Italy is a sure indication that you are a lonely loser who needs to get a life. The esteem of your friends and colleagues is assured if you arrive 15 minutes late for almost everything with a serious expression on your face and a cell phone pressed to your ear. Incredibly, in university environments, there is the quarto d'ora accademico, or academic quarter of an hour, whereby you are entitled, even expected, to arrive late. Indeed, there is something almost mystical about this time lag of 15 minutes, not 20, not 10, but 15. As mentioned earlier, if invited to dinner, you should arrive exactly 15 minutes late. Uncannily, even city buses tend to arrive a quarter of an hour after the appointed time. Unless, that is, the driver is in a hurry to get home for his dinner, in which case the bus arrives 5 minutes early. And films on TV have the infuriating habit of starting 15 minutes after the advertised schedule. For temporarily precise non-Italians, there is, however, a ray of light. In Italian, church services and football matches always start bang on time. Queuing. The very concept of a queue is quaint and laughable, reminding us of abstruse notions such as democracy, personal accountability, and civic responsibility. Queues are primarily for Northern European neurotics. Holding the door open. Not mandatory in Italy, so you will often open doors unassisted. Be careful if you approach a swinging door behind someone else. You might get your nose taken off. Yawning. If in the company of others, then do not yawn like a hippopotamus. In other words, turn your head away and yawn discreetly, without yielding liters of malodorous gas or accompanying the exhalation with an Above all, cover your mouth with your hand, or the Italians around you will take evasive action in order to stay out of the line of fire. Apologizing. Apologies are less widespread in Italy than in many other countries. Unlike the British, who apologize for consuming oxygen, Italians' deep-rooted mistrust of strangers discountenances any form of apology with a person they don't know, because it's like an admission of guilt, which might be used against them. Therefore, if a driver knocks you down on a zebra crossing, or if a passerby smashes an open umbrella into your face, do not expect to hear, "Good heavens, I'm dreadfully sorry. How could I possibly have done something so unmannerly?" Indeed, do not expect to hear anything at all. Greeting. Now, after the outbreak of COVID-19, this section seems a little bit dated, but I shall read it to you anyway. Greeting. A friendly greeting in Italy involves 2 kisses, beginning with the left cheek before quickly moving on to the right cheek. A quick peck is sufficient. Do not slobber. Men may also exchange kisses, but only if they are old friends. You might occasionally be required to provide 3 kisses, though the reason for this has never been clear to anyone. If you are physically attracted to the Italian you are greeting, then deliver a confident, resounding kiss on the lips. When the recipient looks surprised, you can declare either that you got mixed up between left and right and ended up in the middle, or that things are different in your country and isn't cultural diversity exciting. Wishing. Whenever you reach the end of a conversation with an Italian, you are practically obliged to wish them a good something or other. The most frequent ones depend on the time of day. Buona giornata, have a good day. Buona serata, have a good evening. Though curiously, buona mattinata, have a good morning, is not used much at all. Also popular are buon pranzo, good lunch, buona cena, good dinner, buon lavoro, good work, buona lezione, good lesson, buon fine settimana, good weekend, buona vacanza, good holiday, buon viaggio, good trip, buona guarigione, get well soon, and buon proseguimento, literally good continuation of anything really. For example, a train journey, a holiday, a hike, etc. Perhaps surprising are buon ascolto, literally good listening, often used by radio announcers, and buona visione, literally good viewing, frequently adopted by TV announcers. The munificent buon tutto, a good everything, is also widespread, used by those who cannot raise the energy to be more specific. Less common, but perfectly legitimate, are wishes such as buona doccia, have a good shower, and buon caffè, have a good coffee. However, you should not assume that such wishes are appropriate in every context. Italians draw the line, for instance, at buon funerale, have a good funeral, and buon sexo, have good sex. If you dislike your interlocutor, then the practice is to not wish them a good anything. Gesticulating. During the warmer months, you may notice a person in the car in front of you making what appear to be hand signals out of the window. When the signals continue, you might begin to wonder what they mean: turning right, turning left, slowing down, I'm being kidnapped, bugger off. After a while, it will occur to you that the person is not sending signals at all, but gesticulating as she or he conducts a conversation, and with such energy that a hand keeps appearing out of the window. If you are not a religious person, you should do well to note that some Italians manage to drive while gesticulating with both hands, thus abandoning the steering wheel altogether, which goes to prove that miracles still happen. Talking of windows, it sometimes happens that you see a group of Italians at lunch through the window of a restaurant. You can't hear them, but since they are gesticulating energetically, you may have the momentary impression that they're all deaf and therefore using sign language. Since Italian as a truly national language is a relatively recent phenomenon, with the result that in the past, many Italians spoke only their local and often impenetrable dialect, it is said that when people from different parts of Italy engaged in conversation, they were forced to adopt lots of hand gestures in order to make themselves understood. The validity of this theory is perhaps spoiled by the fact that Italians gesticulate like crazy when they're on the phone. Whether it's true or not, should Italians get on your nerves by talking too much, a straight jacket may be more effective than a gag. Cheating. Non-Italian students on study exchanges in Italy should know that in Italian, the word for cheating during an exam is the fairly innocuous copiare, something which reflects the Italians' considerable breadth of mind concerning illicit conduct in an exam situation. It can so easily happen, considering the frenetic nature of modern life and the popularity of social networks, that one struggles to reserve time for serious study. Some would say this is inevitable, and that as a result, it is only natural that one should seek modest assistance, such as crib sheets sewn into clothing, concealed smartwatches, temporary swapping of papers, and whispered but fruitful exchanges of ideas with the other candidates. In many countries, such activities would lead to expulsion, public shaming, and the stain of original sin. But in Italy, benevolence prevails, in part because disqualification is just too complicated. So, dear Erasmus students, in bocca al lupo, literally in the mouth to the wolf, but used to wish someone luck prior to, for an example, an exam or a job interview. Superstition. Firstly, remember that the unlucky number in Italy is 17, with Friday the 17th being particularly inauspicious. Secondly, in a group, do not try to shake hands in crisscross fashion, as this also brings bad luck. Your Italian acquaintances will spring back and wait for a bit more space. Thirdly, do not propose or make a toast with only water in your glass. Fourthly, if you sweep dirt onto someone's foot, then the mucky-footed person will never get married. Finally, Italians touch iron rather than wood. But if you see Italian men quickly touch their genitals in public, look out for a passing funeral procession or simply a funeral car, since this intimate contact wards off death. Alternatively, it could mean that Italian males are convinced that they have iron testicles. I think that's enough for the moment. I'll be back with an interesting story before long.